And we're live. So, welcome to Talking Void. Hello. So, last time I did this introduction, I read something from my Word document that was opened on my screen. I thought it was really bad because it wasn't me. So this time I'm going to do an introduction by not having an introduction prepared at all and just talking about stuff and everything. So, welcome to Talking Void, where we talk about stuff. See, much better. And we're going to we're going to answer some questions in general, and we have some things we want to discuss about previous episode. And the community is here, as I can see, and I'm just hoping we have a lot of fun. So the other thing is that we have this new intro to the show, which is scary and stuff, and we're going to talk about that a bit later. But first, let me introduce Erik.
Hi, I'm Erik.
Well, that's been a great introduction. So now we're going to the first the second introduction to the show, which is the main introduction, which is blah 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 blah. Here we go. See ya. And we're back. Welcome to the second episode of Talking Void once again. Erik, second guest.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this for 2 weeks now, so hope I don't do a shitty job.
Well, you will, but that doesn't matter. No, you won't. It will be a really relaxed session, I'm guessing. I think you know all the answers to all the questions I'll be asking you, so that will be... and
if I don't know an answer, I'll just go offline and pretend my internet doesn't work again. So, sorry, I'm breaking up.
That's a way to do it, yes.
Driving through a tunnel right now. Yeah.
So I see a nice intro in the chat already. Well, thank you. That was Michel's work. With some art of Erik's and some inspiration by me. And I think it's really funny because it's really dark. And as you might have seen by now, we aren't dark at all. We are just laughing and having a bit of fun. So that's contrast, and I think that's a good thing in this kind of shows. That is all I have to say before we dive into this. Erik, want to add something?
No, I don't want to add something. I'm just very excited to do the show. I'm curious if you guys have any questions in chat. We already prepared a couple of questions, so let's just do it. Let's just dive right into it and ask away.
Do you know what I'm forgetting, Erik? Socials. Michel might bash my head in if I don't do socials, I think.
Michel will bash you.
So we have socials. Yeah, you can follow us and stuff. But what I really want to say is that if you have any questions for Talking Void, you can always enter them under an Instagram message that has been any of our Instagram messages. But you can also email us at voidcastlive@gmail.com. We'll be checking that email box to see if there are any questions for us every day, of course, to see how many followers we are gaining, which is pretty fun if you're new to the business, I'm guessing. Maybe it gets boring after a while, but it's not boring right now. So follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Do all the stuff. Give all the likes. Follow us, especially on Twitch. because that will give us affiliate status if we get some more followers, and that's what we really want to go for. Yeah. So we can broaden our perspective with you viewers. So
you can always look back at all our videos on YouTube. We have a couple of them on already, so after the show, go look them up, and then you won't be behind.
Yes, true. So let's dive into the first question, and the first question is, why two characters?
Why two characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really it was an interesting concept that I wanted to play. I wanted to play something very different that I've played before. I'm a dungeon master myself, just like Jasper, and I always like to play different characters. So two characters, that was an ideal opportunity for me. It is only one character, one official character, and you can build him or her, or well, gender neutral if you would like, with the official D&D rules. So, but that's all I have to say about that. You'll have to look it up yourself. Yeah. But yeah, why two characters? I really liked to play two characters and to have a master and an apprentice in the show.
Okay. Yeah, I really thought when I first heard that you would be doing that, I thought, well, we're going to do this thing. We spent a half year on developing it. We've done all this artwork, and we've never done this before. And the first thing you do is make two characters to go online with. I thought, well, that's I have some complicated ideas about my character, but I thought that's a whole other insert random thingy here. But you're doing it. So how's the experience?
Yeah, the experience has been fun so far. It's a bit difficult to differentiate the two characters. So to really get into character of Gunther and Thomas, I really have to figure that out, how I can do it more that they are two different characters, right? So if I'm talking, Gunther is talking or Thomas is talking, and you, without an explanation or without saying, and Gunther says, you just pick it up right at the moment I start speaking. So that's a thing I have to figure out myself, but it's fun developing a character, two characters like that. It isn't difficult, I think. I just play D&D like I play D&D, only in English now. The only thing is, I'm looking for words sometimes, but I think we all do that. So, and I'm used to handling multiple characters as a DM. So this wasn't that different in my opinion. So yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good answer to the first question.
How was the experience for you as a group? Because you were introduced to two different characters. Both of them are unique to each other. Thomas and Gunther both have a separate background. How do you experience it as my companions?
Well, by now I don't even know when I first knew you would be playing two characters. If that was during the first episode or just before that, or even a bit more before that. But right now I think I really like it, because I think you are pulling it off. And I have quite a different opinion about Gunther as I have of Thomas. You can guess which one I like the most.
Yeah, it's Gunther, obviously.
Yeah, indeed. You nailed it there. So I like that you're doing that. I think it's challenging, and I hope all our viewers can distinguish enough, but you're working on that. And we are doing this show to let other people see how we would play, and not to be perfect. So developing the character in that way is great as well, because that gives others more inspiration, I think, to do funny things while you're playing D&D, and that's meta funny things, not in-game funny things, but serious at the same time, of course. So I really like it. Yeah.
Okay, because I write my characters, all my characters. If I'm a DM or if I'm a player, I always write my characters with a background story of about one page size. That's all I do for my characters in preparation. And as I play, the character develops along with me, and that's how I always wanted to develop my characters, and that's the way I play my characters, and that's how Thomas and Gunther will grow in their own separate entities during the show.
So let's hijack Michel's topic concerning backgrounds, because what are you saying?
Sorry.
No. That's great. You are writing a one-page biography for your non-playing characters?
No, not all my non-playing characters. But if I do a big evil character, so the big villain of the big villain, I always do one page, and it develops over time. So when my players pull off some nasty stuff during the campaign or some funny antics, my villain also develops further, and that's how I develop my player characters also. So don't write everything down, but I just do one page, and that's the whole character, not a difficult, complicated backstories most of the times. And just go with the flow. That's my style of play.
Yeah.
And how do you do your character? How do you develop your characters?
Well, I think it's a bit the same as how I develop my worlds as a dungeon master, by making it a logical place, so that if I think of something new, it fits into that place. If you develop your surroundings enough, you know what the next step will be, and you, as a DM, you can react to what your players are doing in a consistent way. And as a player, I think that goes as well. So I don't. Right now I'm writing things down because Bowin keeps a diary, which you haven't read yet, of course, because it's my diary. And I have a lot of notes that I keep updated. For example, my interaction with Oddleif in the form of her stories she wrote when she was younger is one of the things that I keep track of. Really important things I just write down. But I don't do that for my non-playing characters, though. Develop over time in my head. It's why they might lack consistency sometimes, but I don't think very often. Well, they stay around for 20 years, So
I haven't spotted you making a mistake as of yet, and I'm playing in your campaign for 8 years now, so that means you either do it very well or you're hiding it pretty damn well.
Yeah, or you're just oblivious.
Yeah. I like to smash stuff, so character development is not my thing in your world.
So we have a question about Gunther here, but we'll be answering that at the end of next question. So we're not forgetting your question. I just have to say that, but the next question might be relevant to be able to answer that question as well. So let's go to the next question, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
Yes, that's true. So the next question is, now I have to put that window aside, discussing last episode, that's what we're putting this under. Gunther had a prominent role in the last session, mainly to see how things would be resolved before we went on. But there was that tiny detail of the locked chest. Tell us, what went on in Gunther's head?
What went on in Gunther's head? I think Gunther, and this is the way I play Gunther. Gunther is an experienced veteran of old. He has fought many battles, and yeah, he's at the end of his good years. So, and that's how I play him. That's how you notice me play him. And Gunther has a whole different view on the world. So not everything is black and white, but there are a lot of gray areas. You saw that in the way he wanted the dispatch of the bandits. His morals towards the church, and yeah. Gunther is very curious what's in the box now that he got attacked. He wants to know what it is that the villains are after, because then he can protect his party as well. And that's what's going on in Gunther's head. He didn't want to betray his friend's trust, but as soon as his and his companions' lives were put in danger, he also needed to know what's in the chest, because it puts him and his friend in danger, and that's not something he can allow. So that went to Gunther's head, and just making Thomas and Oddleif open the chest, that was just his way of keeping the promise.
Oh, yeah. So I understand what you did there. Mm-hmm. I think that there are intentions towards how promises are phrased and how literal they can be taken. But that's Bowin, of course. That's not Jasper. So there was a bit of Ise OOC. I don't know. But, but well, a bit Ise, because I sounded annoyed, I think. I hope people will really differentiate between me and Bowin in that respect, because I of course loved what happened, but Bowin's a bit mad as well, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't want to play the knight in shining armor with Gunther. Gunther has a lot of years behind him, and he's just tired of putting up with the same ruckus every time on the road, and so he's past. I'm taking more inspiration from Game of Thrones than I do from let's say Lord of the Rings, with my character of Gunther and Thomas.
Not the noble knight, but
not the noble knight, just
the
knight doing his job. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you feel about Gunther being so much in the lead in the resolving process of everything that happened?
On the one hand, I liked it because I got to play Gunther and I love playing Gunther.
And there he is again.
This will happen 2 or 3 times this night.
Let's hope it doesn't take so long. You love the small gif. Well, you can start talking, right?
Yeah, I can start talking. Then I hope my image will pop back. Well.
No, we haven't had that before.
No, didn't have that before. Just wait a minute.
Well, it happens on talking. Hey, here we go. Strange. I'm enjoying this. So.
Oh, it's time for a new computer.
Yeah.
If you all sponsor me,
there you are. Yes, hey! We have a Patreon as well, but it hasn't been filled yet. But I can see if you can donate $1,000
bucks right there. New computer very, very soon, because this really this ticks me off, man.
So you didn't like to play Gunther? Or...
Yeah, I do like to play Gunther, and I liked to be in the spotlight last session. But I also really want to develop Thomas more than Gunther, because he is the apprentice and he will at one day take over Gunther's job as a protector of the realm. So I want to develop Thomas more over the coming sessions. But it was really fun playing Gunther last session, and really fun pissing off the church and having some squabble with my party, with one of my party members.
Well, a divide has been made. At least it has not been crossed. So I think it's been made in the party because of those things, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Well, the divide is between me and you, not between anyone else. And I don't think we can talk about a party yet. A company on the road or something for now. But I liked it. I just liked it. Great.
It brings a bit. If we're all good characters and we all follow the law and we all do the same things in the same way and behave the same way, you get a really boring show, and you really need a bit of struggle within the party. So
yes, of course, yeah.
And who better to inflict struggle than me?
Yeah, that's true as well. Okay, so there is a question in chat. I think you've read it by now, but it's on a scale from 1 to 100. How incompetent is Sir Gunther?
At the moment, he is very incompetent. Well, he is not incompetent he's not incompetent in being a knight. He's just incompetent in combat and looking for the right direction. That's also not one of his fortes. But as far as the knight business goes, I don't think Gunther is very incompetent on that end. He knows what he's doing. He knows his stuff. He knows his way around the cities. And
I think your reactions were spot on, really. The way you handled the what were they called? The priest knight thingies.
Yeah, the Templars, right?
Templars, yeah.
Yeah.
You handled them pretty well.
In
character. Yeah.
He knows he knows who he is. That comes with age, so he knows who he is. He knows what he stands for, and in that perspective, Gunther is very competent. But yeah, if you see him in combat, he's just a mess all over the place. And don't ask him where the baker is, because you will be going to the other side of the country when he gives you directions. So,
well, maybe that's where we have to go. So, chaos reigns. Do you feel like going to the next question? Because it's for you as well.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, next question. Thomas went out with Oddleif. He seems to be a bit more in the background than your other character. What are your thoughts on his progression last session? Which is funny. For one, I made these questions, so they aren't from the internet or something. I just made them up as a plan to talk about this episode. But I think you already started answering this in the previous question. So
the thing I did with Thomas last session was Gunther already had a very prominent spot in the episode. So he started talking to the knights. He had a discussion with Bowin. Episode before that, the thieves were after his belongings. So there were a lot of Gunther-centric things and a lot of stuff going on around my character. And I knew that Michel's character, Oddleif, was going to the shop to talk to his old acquaintance. And I didn't want to steal the spot there. Well, steal the spot sounds a bit like I didn't want to involve myself too much with the scene, because this was really Michel's moment, and Thomas faded a bit in the background for that. So that was the reason I didn't do much with Thomas at that location.
Yeah.
Of course, we had the seashell that he never saw in his life, and he heard the sea. But after, other than that, it was, I think it was really Michel's, so Oddleif's place in the story, and Thomas was just, in this case, was just a support in the act.
Yeah, okay. So how much screen time do you want to get?
I want it to be divided divided evenly through all the party, because that's how you get a really really good party development, character development, and I consciously think about not taking the spot too much, because when I have fun doing things, I get really enthusiastic and I start babbling like I do now. So it's really a thing for me to rein myself in sometimes.
Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't, but because I think we all try to have our screen time in a way. So
yeah, and we all do it very good right now. So there's
yeah. Well, that's a pat on our shoulder. Give yourself a pat, Erik. Yeah. No, just having fun. But I really loved both characters, and I think that it was a really strong way that it happened last session. Thomas a bit in the background and Gunther so much in the foreground, because for me, I now want to know more about Thomas's motivations by his mere absence. It intrigues me. I don't think it is actually what Bowin wants yet, but for Jasper, yes, I want to know what's going on there.
What Thomas's motivations are to go with Gunther?
Yeah, well, getting to know him better, there are obviously some things that have happened from a player perspective that I think, well, this is interesting, what happened here. How you act in combat, for example, or how you react to certain things. But those aren't really Bowin's interests, so he doesn't really relate to that very much. Right. But what Bowin does relate to is service. So I think that you'll catch his eye soonish.
Okay.
That's just that's how I think about the progression.
Yeah, you will get to know Thomas better in the course of the show, because
of course
Thomas has a complicated past, because you won't be an adventurer if you have an easy past. And he tags along with Gunther at the moment. And you will see how we will develop in the next couple of sessions. But I'm not going to give anything away.
No. Okay, thank you. So the next question is for me, by me. Is that strange?
Should I ask it?
Didn't I put it in? Strange. Here, for some reason, I forget one question per talking void. Well, it's been two talking voids, so I think that's what. Yeah, I'm spot on with that. But the question I was going to ask myself is how did Bowin feel during this episode? Because I think it was pretty obvious that some things were going on.
I think we can all answer that, how Bowin was feeling right then, at that point.
How was he feeling? Tell me.
I think a bit frustrated. I think a bit disappointed. Really disappointed, not a bit disappointed. He was really disappointed in the people. And I think he was very shocked at how people were reacting to the stuff going on.
Yeah, indeed. So let's go to the next question.
No.
But you're right. But there's... I really like the discussion at the table, first with Solwing. Oddleif got off easy, I think, because in a way Bowin doesn't see her as someone who did anything wrong, even though she defended Gunther's decisions and everything. But Gunther got the brunt of it, of course.
And it's take the chance.
Yeah, but it's not really about well, it is about the tenets of Adon, and it is about keeping honesty as a kind of core belief. I think Bowin thinks that's the most important one. I think I said somewhere that you've got faithful and then you've got honesty. Being faithful, being honest. And of course, but being faithful is a bit baseline, and then honesty is the thing that helps you get you where you want to be in life or in the afterlife or whatever. And to break to so blatantly in such a difficult situation to not be honest is something entirely new for Bowin, which goes to say something about his upbringing, which has been a pretty honest upbringing, really straightforward manner towards his colleagues and brothers and sisters in the cloister. So the world is new, but the old world did work for him. And as Jasper, I am really interested to how the thing about his childish behavior, which was talked about when after he left, is going to come into play, because there's probably he has something to say about too as well. So I hope that will come up in some way, but only if it happens naturally, please. But yeah.
I think our DM is devious enough to bring it up. So
our DM is devious enough to bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
to make sure it will get in play somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He says ... So,
and we should be nice to him because he decides over our lives and deaths. So
yeah, that's true. But, the other thing is that if we are all dead, he hasn't the party to DM. So it's a symbiotic relationship. We're all into in this together.
But he can always
by wolf.
Yeah. But he can always set an example with one of us. So
yeah, true. But it will not be me. It will be you, Gunter, because you lied.
Gunter will outlive you all.
Yeah, I think so too. That's true. Yeah, it's kind of a coughing relic of past, present, and future. Okay, so that was my answer to that question.
Okay.
DM's job is like herding cats. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I think we'll have some great discussions when our GM will be up here. We're all. Are we all? No. Djinn isn't the DM, but the others are.
I think we are all, except Djinn. Everyone is a DM. At one point or another. I think at this moment everybody is DMing.
Yeah. I'm DMing too many campaigns, so I'm going to let one slip. But they know that already. I'm not going to let one slip, but I'm not doing the one shots anymore. That's
okay.
I don't know why I said that because, but well, among friends, that's the funny thing about this show, I think. So you get the viewers are getting a bit of our real lives coming through their screens, entering their living rooms or basements or maybe even bedrooms if they watch us there.
Or attics or at school.
Or attics, yeah.
Wherever there's internet.
Or in the garden. And,
okay.
Oh, someone is crying in chat, which is... it is obvious why, because he knows I'm stopping the one-shots with him in it. Yeah, maybe in the future, Donker Rups. But yeah. So let's continue to the next question because why not? So the next question is well, it's not really a question. It is a question, but it's more things that resound on the internet. And the first one is starting out playing D&D. How to have fun in the labyrinth of rules and other stuff. So what you see a lot on Reddit or mostly Reddit, yeah, or sometimes on YouTube. But on YouTube, these questions already get answered in a certain way. And on Reddit, you really see the new players asking, "Where should I begin?" And I thought that was an interesting one to start discussing in this Talking Void episode. So what's your experience with that? And what do you say to new players? And
yeah, that's very funny because I have hosted a beginners 5th edition campaign a couple of years ago. That's now my regular time party. And a couple of them never played role-playing games before. One girl even didn't see, didn't even see Lord of the Rings or any fantasy like that. So the thing is, don't be spooked by all the rules. The basic rules are just a couple of pages long, and learn as you go. Pick a character that you really like in your head. So I want to play that race and that type of character. So I want to be a magic caster, and I want to play an elf because I always love elves. Talk to your DM about it, which character you can make, if your DM has experience enough, and then pick it up from there. Just learn by playing, and don't worry too much about knowing all the rules at the start of the game. The most basic rules, I think I have it over here. This is the Lost Mine of Phandelver starter set. We played through this adventure, and really, these are all the rules you need to know to play D&D.
Yeah,
and
true.
Half of these pages are, 1/3 of these pages are spells. So if you don't even play a spellcaster, you can skip those pages. You can download the rules for free on Dungeons and Dragons, on the Dungeons and Dragons Wizards site. Yeah, and it's quite easily to pick up. Just spend a couple of evenings studying a couple of rules, create a character, and just start playing. That's all. That's the tip I can give you. And just have fun with it. If you don't get everything right at the beginning, don't worry. Your DM will help you, or you can look through the rules after the session that you didn't understand, and you will understand it better next time.
Yeah, well, that's a good answer, I think. So you have that experience with your new players and everything. When I think back on when I started myself, I was the initiator because I had the red box in Dutch, and we played with a couple of 11-year-old kids, and we didn't understand any of the rules as written because we skipped over most of it because we're too anxious to play. And when we started, we did it all wrong, but we had so much fun that it didn't matter. You know, we had a shopping list in the red box, which is this big, and we always went to stores to buy new stuff, even though we had thousands of golds. Because when you're young, you just give out gold like it's mad because for some reason you feel powerful when you have a lot of gold, and we spent it on this list where a rope would cost 1 gold piece, and we were still deciding if we would want to buy that, you know, and was the most important table in all those books. And at the same time, we drew these maps with that were full of rooms which interlinked to each other and had no real story behind them, but had lots of monsters in them, which were killed in a single blow because we didn't understand the rules. But we had fun. And sure, as time progressed, you introduce new players to the game, as you start getting to know more about the rules yourself, and you can really guide them into how Dungeons and Dragons can be played, and they have a head start over that naive way of starting the game. But even then, I think every DM should say, just join the table and see what happens, because in the end, it is about having fun and not about the rules.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, and I saw this video a short while ago. Maybe if this goes on YouTube, I will put the link in there, which said something about good players and bad players and everything, which was a fun progression to watch, to see if you are a good player, but at the same time it was really demoralizing, because it says that you have to know all your abilities when you reach the first session, or you aren't a good player, which is so stupid. But at the same time, it also tells you what you can do to develop your playstyle, and how committed you can become to the game, so that you have a joint experience that surpasses your own experience. And that's I think that's where the balance lies. You don't have to know all the rules or even your character by the first session, but it sure helps a lot if everyone around the table knows their characters, to really dive into them, and especially when combat occurs. But the first couple of combats in a new party, just talk. They will last a bit longer, but
they will last a bit longer. But as soon as you get more experienced playing your character, you will get a hang of it soon enough. And for starting DMs, also I can recommend the Last Mine of Bindels set. We had 20 sessions in it. There's 20 sessions worth of playtime in it. There's also another starter set right now, the Essentials Kit, I think it was called. And there's one on Kickstarter right now, though I do not know what it's called again. But these starter sets really introduce starting players and starting DMs. They explain the rules very well. They make it small so you can start easy and you don't get lost in all the rules. And for DMs, you can play chapter by chapter, and you don't have to know the whole adventure. You don't know. You don't have to know the whole adventure when you start the first session. Just read the first 10 or 12 pages, and you can start the game.
Yeah. And so, how is it? Because I know you've played a lot of role-playing games, but you got into D&D a bit later.
Yep.
So, how was it for you to step as a new player into an existing party?
Yeah, that was weird. I started this. I restarted D&D because I already played D&D years ago with a couple of friends of mine. But these sessions were once in every 2 months, and then once every 3 months, and after 2 or 3 years, it kind of bled out. And I met you at a party after a couple of years, and you were at the party of my nephew or cousin. What's it called? Cousin. Sorry. At the party of my cousin, and my cousin was on his way to study in the United States for a year, and he asked me, "Can you take over my character?" And I got to know you guys, and it was really I was really anxious at first, zenuwachtig, anxious, right? At first, because you guys are all veterans, and you've been playing the game since you can walk, and I have been playing Warhammer for most of my life, but I couldn't play the game very well. But you gave me you gave me a sense of security, and as time went on, I developed my own character, and now we've been playing for 8 years now, and I don't know any better.
So what that tells me is that it helps to have a nurturing surrounding where you can learn.
Respect each other. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah.
Everything you do at the table, don't don't have a discussion at the table and then take the discussion in your further in your personal life. So if you have a discussion as characters, don't hate the other player, and just respect each other. That's the most important thing. Respect each other and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that will answer all the questions there are about how to start playing, but I think that as a product, a starter kit is a really good way to start playing.
Yeah.
Starting with a whole new group, it doesn't matter what you do, because fun is the most important thing. While you're developing, be sure. Well, that's another thing. Be sure to tell each other your expectations of how you want to play the game, and which rules are reserved for your table, so to say. And when you come into a new party, they should be respectful of that you might be a new player or a new DM, and really have a sense of it being a cooperative game.
Yeah.
Because the DM isn't your enemy. The DM is your friend, and he wants to have you experience a wonderful adventure. And at the same time, the players have to contribute to that cause as well, I think.
Can you tell my players that the DM isn't the enemy? Because most of the times they think that I'm out there trying to kill them. But that's maybe my DMing style. So
then you can just do a big red dragon that comes swooping in, and then it's the end of the adventure, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, my wife just sent me a text. The Legends of Omaria starter set, Omaria starter set. So Legends of, and then OMERYA. It's from DM Dave. That's another starter set that's been that's launching right now. So yeah, look into it. Maybe it's for you. Maybe the D&D starter set is something for you, or Pathfinder.
Yeah, true. Maybe maybe we'll put that below the VOD on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, so somebody else has to. But and I know who. Expecting a green chat right now. But anyway. I think that's enough for now. Last time we did the backgrounds question. And we are realizing that we have a lot to talk about when we do such answer such questions, because it's never finished. Of course, it's much too complicated to discuss in 5 minutes or even 10 or a quarter of an hour. So we're looking into what we want to do with that, because I think we are saying some sensible things, and well, we hope you think we are making sense as well. So, but I think we'll come back to these kind of questions, and at the least it's how we try to play the game, to make people understand that it isn't about optimal fighting or best behavior or murder hobos or anything like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And even then, our playstyle might not be your playstyle, but then please ask your friends to watch us anyway. Okay. Let's go to the next question, which is in a way also the last question, which is good because yeah, well,
time is running out.
The internet again, and it should be question 2. Oh, I so hate this. Why am I doing this? Okay, no, I did it wrong. I had a question 2. Okay, so the internet again. There are so many ways to do combat. Should I buy this or that? It seems expensive.
What does the internet mean exactly with that?
Well, I compressed the question a bit so that we could discuss it even better. I think that you see all these Kickstarters and well, not just Kickstarters, really established brands like Dwarven Forge and everything that that let you make terrain or let you buy these cool miniatures, which I want. I want them all. But are they necessary? Is a grid of paper enough? With some tokens that you get from possibly drinking some kind of beer during a session?
Or bottle caps, the bottle rings caps, from behind bottle caps,
Yeah, so, and just as starting playing D&D might be a bit intimidating, seeing all these things happen on the internet with these whole sceneries might be a bit intimidating as well.
Yeah.
So I picked up on that. I think it was on Reddit as well, and I think that I wanted to say something about that, and I was hoping that you had an opinion as well.
Yeah, I have an opinion as well. I'm a hoarder, so I buy everything that comes in my path as soon as I have the money for it. So I have my D&D book collection, but I also have a lot of third-party books in my collection already. I'm backing some Kickstarters right now, but yeah, to be honest, do I need it? No. If you want to play D&D, you just need paper, a couple of dice, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual, and the Player's Handbook. Or if you really want to start cheap, this starter set. It's all you really need to play D&D. So yeah, do you all need it? No. Just start small, and as the years will progress, your collection will expand, and after a while, you just have to buy a new house because you don't have room for all your miniatures anymore. That's what we did.
Well, buying a new house, that's the definite goal of
no, but you can start. You can play this game as large or small as you want to. You can do it with simple graph paper. You can even do it in theater of the mind, just so your character is standing. Your character is standing a couple of feet away from the guards. Can my character charge the guard? Yeah. You can make the distance. Okay, well, and then just go with that. You don't need anything to play the game except a couple of dice and paper. So no. Do we need it? No. Do we want it? No. Yes.
Well, lately I've started feeling like I maybe want to do some theater of mind games again, because I'm starting to really miss that. When I played during my teens and early 20s, most of our combat was theater of mind, which was well, different because you really had to think about how are these groups of enemies standing there and what can players do, and especially in the second edition when you initiative started and you were a spellcaster, then if even one attack got through you when you were while you were casting a spell, which started at initiative 0 and was cast at at the initiative that you rolled and went up, you were interrupted. So you had to keep all those things in mind while you were playing the game. And but lately I have been listening to the Titans of Altera. Link, which is I think a very good podcast, though they really had to come into their own as well, but probably they will confirm this because when they got into their own, I think it became really great. They do very short episodes, 20 to 15 minutes, depending on the content, and it's all theater of mind. Because they do a podcast, and I don't think they have a battleground at their table, because they do sit around the table, and it is great because they just discover each other. Could I reach this? Could I do that? And the DM will say yes or no, or only if, and such things. And it makes for great theater of mind.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I've progressed to having a lot of Pathfinder miniatures. And I really enjoy a strategic combat as well. And I often feel that I can't go back from that, because it's also very enjoyable to know exactly what you can do with 30 feet of movement, one bonus action and everything. And we do that on stream as well, of course, and I think especially there it's so much fun to do it. I don't know why, but I really think Roll20 adds to our campaign. And when I started with our group, my group that I do on Friday nights once a month, it had been established as a way of playing, and we did a theater of mind combat just last session there, and it was one of the most thrilling encounters up to date. So it's I think I want to do it more again, and it's the cheapest way to do it, because your prep time has been reduced to this, and in this time of Corona, you don't need a second cam to put on the battlefield. And I could use Roll20, but not with every party I have.
I do really miss playing with my players at the table, because I am a miniature wargamer by heart. So I played a lot of Warhammer and Infinity back in the days, and I really love to buy these miniatures, paint them up, stick my time in that, and then present my players with another monster that I painted. So I love theater of the mind, but as a DM, I will always fall back on miniatures, because I just love the hobby that much.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, it's cool to play with miniatures, but you can do it without.
Yeah, of course.
Just like we were talking about playing it in a general way. I think so too. But don't get discouraged. That's the main thing we're trying to say this episode, I think, because there are so many ways to play. Just have fun. And the first time you tell your DM, I'm charging the orc and cleaving with my great axe to see if I can separate his head from his body. It doesn't matter if you have to walk your miniature 40 feet forward, or you just tell them and ask the DM to describe what the effect of your d20 roll and your damage roll might be. So M Quak 84 says, fun fact, D&D started as a miniature war game, which is true. Yeah, it was really complicated in the early days, how what you had to buy to play Dungeons and Dragons. But I think that these boxes, like the Lost Mines of Vandelver.
Lost Mines of Vandelver,
or the red box that was released in I think it was the 80s. At least I got mine in 92, I think. 92, which was a Dutch version, so I don't know how long it had been in the running. When you open them, there are some booklets in there, and there are these pencils, and there wasn't even a pencil in there, but there were dice in there. And I was so disappointed when I saw that, but in a way, that's all you need.
And if you really want to play with miniatures, you can also go to eBay, or we have this thing called Marktplaats in the Netherlands. There are a lot of people selling all their old miniature collections You can get them for really cheap, or you can buy old board games. So the old D&D board games, they have a lot of miniatures from undead to orcs to all contained within the Dungeons and Dragons board game. So not the role-playing game, but the board game. There are over 50 miniatures in that. You can start off with that. It's a very cheap way to represent your miniatures, and if you're lucky, you can get it off $15 or 15 euros nowadays.
Or start out with a piece of paper with a grid on it and some bottle caps. Yeah, that's what we were saying. So yeah, that's true. Make it your own and spend only as much money as you want. Or buy a house to hold your collection. That's the other extreme I just heard. So, let's go to the final question. Or, well, it isn't really a question. It just says, is this? And then it says, yes, it is. The end.
Yeah, it is.
We've come to the end of this episode.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Right? It really...
I can do 10 more of these episodes just talking about Dungeons and Dragons and
but I could do 10 more about one of the questions of this episode. Yeah. But, well, we could do that, and then we have a very long episode that might be almost demoralizing to watch. But I think that... we discussed some things in game and about out of game things. We touched on some topics. I really hope next time we get some community questions again.
Yeah, ask all your questions on our socials, or send them by email, like Jasper suggested.
Podcast live, one word,
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send in your questions and we will answer them next time.
Time flies when you're having fun, says Quak 84. Must be born in the last century then. In the future. Well, you all are.
Why are you grey? Okay.
I think that's a question about for me, but
yeah, I'm not grey.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed yourself. This mouse is something I have to do something with because it's always in the screen. But anyway, I just hope you had a lot of fun and were inspired by some things that we said. We surely are open to receiving feedback. And well, see you next time.
Yeah,
goodbye.
Till next time.
Djinn will be my next guest. Sorry.
Djinn will be your next guest.
Yeah.
So if you have any bird-related questions, how do I feed my bird? At what age will my parrot die? Just ask them all. Djinn will answer the questions.
Yeah, he knows what kind of seed to buy and everything. Yeah. And one other good thing I should mention is that next Monday we'll be back with the next episode of Precipice of Dreams. You see, I like it this way. This kind of chaos where we do things in the last moment, because that's just more my style. But I hope I won't forget stuff. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Go to all our social media accounts
and stuff. Yeah,
on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter.
Comment on Erik's hair if you want. It doesn't bother him at all. And make a picture of his collection behind him and start emulating it. And we'll be seeing you. Now we're going to the outroduction, because that's how I call it. And here we go. Bye.
Bye, guys and girls.